Hi, everyone, and welcome. Um, I'm here with my colleague, Jack. I'm Ellie Linehan, VP of Technical Sales at Canvas GFX. And Jack is a member of our customer success team as a customer success manager. I'm going to just give people a little while to join. Today, we're going to talk about collaboration inside of Canvas Envision, our platform product for enabling interactive digital work instructions. So as folks join, I'm going to bring up a presentation and then we'll get right into a demo. All right. And Jack, let me know if you see my slide.
I sure do. It's looking good.
Thank you. All right. So again, the subject of today's webinar is real-time collaboration with Canvas Envision. And my email is here if you want to reach out to me after this presentation with any questions. So for those on the webinar or joining the recording, if you haven't heard of our product Canvas Envision, it's a tool to create and consume multimedia interactive instructions. And our target use cases enabled by Canvas Envision are manufacturing process instructions, standard operating procedures, maintenance repair guides, and training content. And we really see Canvas Envision as a platform to help those in the industry transition to 3D interactive, always up-to-date training experiences, utilizing 3D content, as well as all the variety of media that are really required to create visually rich work instructions. Our content can be viewed without downloading any software, so you can view it in the browser and from any device, so a PC, tablet, or mobile. So we're really flexible in that way. And from there, I'm going to jump right into the demo so we can all get a feel for what it really is like to collaborate inside of Canvas Envision. Right. So first, I'm going to show an example. We have this example floating around quite a bit. This is an example of mechanical assembly instructions, and that is highly interactive. So we have 3D models on every slide here. But today's example is actually one that I wanted to pull out of a real life experience. So I have a lot of photographs as well as 3D models to show you. So first, I'm going to explain how our work centers are configured. So in this brand new workspace dedicated to Canvas robotics, we have work centers and library centers. Our work centers are simply a place for our in-progress documents to be stored. And we can create centers around logical things like mechanical assembly, electrical work center. And then we also have a concept of libraries. So libraries are where our published documents go to. So these are the documents that would be consumed by operators on the floor, and they've been reviewed and are in their kind of final published state. So any admin in Envision can create as many work centers as they like. And in their admin panel, they have the ability to assign user groups to these work centers. So if I jump into my electrical work center that we're going to be looking at today, I can see that inside of the work center, I have manufacturing engineers in this work center because my manufacturing engineers are going to be working together to create these instructions prior to publishing them. If I go back, I have an electrical work library center. And if I see the user groups assigned here, I have my manufacturing engineers as well as my electrical work center techs. Some other things that we can configure, just as any user in the cloud, are when we get notifications on collaboration. So the setting that I recommend to most people is to get notifications when someone mentions you in a comment. This reduces the traffic in your emails to the things that are directed at you. And so I'll go ahead and save those personal settings. So jumping into our work center, we're going to talk about the collaboration document today. So on our electrical work center, I had been working on this document by myself. And then I asked my colleague Jack to help me out through collaboration. So if we go through this document, this is the first version that I created, and I left several comments. In this example, I was taking on the role of a manufacturing engineer and thinking, what kind of work would I be focusing on if I was focusing on the manufacturing side? Well, I would grab the pictures that I needed. I would write out the process, and then finally, I might ask for some help from a technical author to refine this document before publishing to the floor. So I went ahead, captured this process of assembling, of soldering this motor. So I captured the step-by-step instructions with pictures, annotation lenses, dimensions, and I embedded a 3D model. And then I went ahead and I left some notes in there for my colleague Jack so he could help me refine this document before publishing. So if we go right into the comments list, you can see each instruction, and I can walk through the notes that I had left for Jack to please go ahead and update the QR code on this document. And then go ahead and make sure that all of these check marks that I've embedded here advance to the next step. And I also left a comment for him to maybe try to clarify this step where I'm placing the motor inside the chassis. And it's not totally clear from the content here that there's a through hole that the shaft needs to be inserted from. So I left him a note to help me out with that. And then finally, I didn't know yet who the POC, point of contact was, or POC, for this assembly. And I asked Jack, could you add the email for the manufacturing POC for this product? So when an operator or technician consumes this document, they can actually go ahead and email back to the point of contact with any issues or feedback on this instruction. And as we walk through the whole collaboration process and publishing, we'll also see what this looks like as an end result and how this is interactive for the consumer of the document. So with that, I'm going to jump into the authoring tool. So this is our EV Creator application. And as I walk through, feel free to ask any questions in the chat and we will get to those at the end. So what else we see in collaboration, you can see that I'm able to access the comments that were made in the cloud real time in my authoring tool inside of EV Creator. We see priorities on each of these notes. And I had marked this one as the highest priority. So it looks like Jack had found the point of contact was George Ryan and provided me this email address. So what I actually did, I left a note for myself here. And we can do this in real time and do a hyperlink here. And simply include a mail to with a subject. So when this document is consumed, the email that's launched automatically includes the subject matter and the point of contact for this procedure. So I'll click OK. And now that this is done, I can go ahead on this issue and mark it as closed. Thank you, Jack. And then the next note here was related to this step of inserting the motor inside the chassis. And this is where I started introducing a 3D model into my content. So there's a lot of steps here that really make sense as photographs. And that's one of the great things about Canvas Envision, is that we don't have to choose whether we want to go all 3D models or all photographs or all 2D images. We can commingle all of this content together. So, so Jack responded to me and he said he's added a new image. Take a look and see what I've come up with. Let me know what you think. And for the purposes of this demonstration, I maintain the original image, and I have the version that Jack had created here. So he went ahead and actually, Jack, could you explain what you did here?
Yeah. In this typical case right here, I did everything within Envision. So Ellie obviously had given inside the document, there was already a 3D model. I was able to interact with that model, get it into the exact location, the right spot where, you know, it would work for me. I then ended up taking that and making it a rasterized image. Then I used the line feature that we have in the drawing panel. Yep, and I used, you can select any type of color, any kind of dashes, or straight solid lines, things like that, and was able to very easily, and using the pixelized indicators and things like that, I was able to erase a little bit of the line so that it gives the impression directly that you're trying to showcase that motor is going directly out of that hole.
I was just walking through to see if I could do it, but you helped me with this. So leveraging that same 3D model content, you were able to create this image, right? So
absolutely,
you didn't need to go into CAD to create it. You actually utilized the 3D content I embedded to simply draw that
that's
diagram,
exactly right.
which is great.
Yeah.
And then this model we'll talk about a little bit. So this model actually came in from the CAD tool with just kind of a gray bland color, but I wanted it to match the real life hardware, if you will. So I was able on my side quickly to go in there and modify the color to match that of real life. So those are the kind of abilities in Canvas that are great, because instead of jumping into CAD, jumping into Paint, jumping into this, we do that all together, and all of our data can kind of commingle, and you have that authoring authority inside the tool. Thanks for explaining that. So I am going to go ahead and accept this change. Right here, and leave a response to Jack. So here I will also do the same thing I just did and mark this one as closed. And I can also go ahead and delete that original version and keep this one. I'll rename that to my new layer 1 to finalize my document. Great. I'll go ahead. Oh, and this is actually something I wanted to show as well. Oh, I think I grabbed that. So inside here, I have a lot of photo images. And some of the interesting things in Canvas Envision are the fact that we have basic kind of photo editing capabilities and vector editing capabilities as well. So something I can do, and I recommend, is always to change the resolution of photos to get a really great experience on the consumption side. So everything is really quick and loads really fast. But the other thing we can do is go ahead and do pixel editing. So if you look at this example, I captured this photo after I assembled the wheels, and looking at the process plan that I have, I actually don't want the wheels on there before the motor. So what I can do is take the rubber stamp here, and if you're familiar with Photoshop, this is something you would often do in a Photoshop kind of application. And I can simply go ahead and erase those pixels effectively by doing this rubber stamp motion. And this is something I realized when I was reviewing. So I'll go ahead and do that before finalizing this document, just so it's really clear for the end user or the end consumer how this should look at this step. So that was quick and easy. And I'll hit escape. It looks like the other, so we have 2 of these checked. And the QR code, it looks like I also confirmed that Jack updated this QR code for me. So in this example, as someone who's doing the manufacturing side, I may not want to do all these things, so I can leverage the other people in my organization to help me with some of these steps by sharing this document with them. So I'm going to go ahead and close this one too. And the final thing that I asked Jack to do was to go ahead and update these icons that I included to auto advance throughout the document. The reason this is something that I really like is that we can restrict the navigation of the document. So you can't just page through everything. You actually need to utilize these actions to proceed through the document. So I'm verifying that this step is complete using this button. So I wanted to make sure that that was all set. And Jack said this is going to take him a bit of time, but he'll let me know when it's complete. So I'm going to leave that one. I'm going to say that one is in progress. And from there, I think all I have to do, I might do this step live just so we can see the final document today on this webinar. Oops, I meant to grab this. So this is something that Jack was helping me with. And I can simply go ahead there. And I'm going to hit save. And this will sync in the cloud. So anybody who's in my workspace can view this document. Anyone who has access to the center that I'm working from, rather. So as it uploads, the next place we're going to go is inside the cloud to look at this document live. And we'll actually be able to see that collaboration happens in real time. As Jack responds to me in a comment, we'll see it show up right inside the electrical work center. So we placed this document in technical review. And it's just uploading right now because we just saved it. And once it's available, we'll jump right back into those comments to see that real-time collaboration.
Yeah, this uploading is a one-time thing. It's relatively fast, but that's the model and all of the different things that are going directly to the server. And every time that
3D models, it's actually very quick.
Yeah.
So I've opened the document in my browser. This is the electrical work center where we have these in progress documents. And we can see that we closed several of these notes over here, and this one's in progress. If I go over here, I can actually open this comment, it will jump right to where I left this comment. And I can see that Jack said, okay, this may take a bit of time. And Jack's going to go ahead as we talk, and he's going to let me know that this is actually done on his side.
Okay.
And I can see that Jack is viewing it right now, and I can see him typing back to me.
And here we go. It's been sent.
So he completed all the checks. We finished that last one while I was sharing my screen. I'm going to say, I'll just say thanks. And then we can close this one as well. So we'll close. So all of my notes are complete. And at this point, I'm going to publish version 1 of this document so it can actually be consumed by the people on my shop floor. So they can do this motor soldering operation from these instructions. So from here, I'm going to go to publish. I'm going to publish to the library center. So I've separated my libraries into kind of logical separations of electrical and mechanical. So here I have electrical, and I'm going to publish a new document. At this point, I have some options to kind of extract information from the models. So I can extract or remove BREPs, PMI data, and metadata. PMI data is interesting as we move to this model-based engineering initiative. Having PMI data might actually be really helpful in some cases. So you may keep that in there intentionally, but I can strip out anything I need to. I don't need to strip anything out in this case. Something I am going to do is remove the pagination controls. So when someone consumes this document, they need to navigate using the actions that I created. So I'll remove those. And I want this to be really simple. So I'm going to have a very kind of simple interface. So I'm going to remove the navigation cube. I'm going to let pan and zoom happen on my 3D models. So I'll leave that. And I don't need to disable auto zoom because I want this to be a really streamlined experience. So here I'm going to publish this document as version 1.0.0. Give it a logical name. Enter a description. And then I'll hit publish. And this will take a second too as we go in synchronize. Oh, it took literally a second. But as we publish it to the electrical work library, and then once it's all synchronized, I'm going to show what this is like for the consumer of the document and how the collaboration doesn't necessarily end here. The collaboration can also come from the technicians who are executing this work. So here we are in the electrical work library with this published document. So as someone who's logged into this workspace, I can view it right from the library, but I can also publish this to be consumed outside of Envision. So we'll walk through this, and you can see using the navigation buttons here, I'm able to go back, or I added some tooltips as well to verify that something's complete. So I have kind of simple instructions here. I have a nice zoom lens, which is really a time saver to be able to do these kinds of dimensioning and zoom lenses on photographs. And then as we get towards the end of these instructions, we'll be able to see that 3D model. And again, this is going to be something that we can interact with from the web without downloading anything at all. And I have this all commingled with images as well. So right here, I'm able to open this in full screen and take a look and realize, oh, there's a through hole there. And actually, there's a little feature here to kind of hold this motor right in this area. So this is nice for me as an end user because I didn't really know from this image that there was something there for me. But in any case, I'm going to show the consumer experience now. So if I share this, I can share it by an anonymous link, and that link could be anywhere you'd like it to be, just a simple URL. It can be shared as a permanent URL. So when you have minor changes, you like v1.0.1, that permanent URL will still refer to that theme document. So if I go here, I like to do presentation mode only, auto, and then hide those pagination controls. And then I have an option again to restrict the viewing experience anytime I publish it. So I have, I like to do this one for simplicity purposes in this case, because we don't have a really complex assembly where I'd want to expose an assembly tree, for instance. So I've gone ahead and done this. And again, when I share this, I can have it expire at any point or have a password. So I always have this option to use a URL. And if I go over here, that URL will give me this in-browser experience to consume this document. And I can go throughout, see all my great pictures. And then as we get to where we've introduced 3D models, I can interact with that again, just like I did when I was over here in my work center. Another way that we can do this once a document is in the library is by embedding an EVDoc in HTML. So I've done a simple example here so we can see what this is like. Again, I'm going to hide those navigation arrows. And I'm going to do the same minimum viewing. And here I have some options as well. When I embed inside HTML, I'll probably hide the Envision banner because my texts don't really care that this is Envision. They just want the instructions. And then I can hide toolbar controls and I can have a seamless background. So I'm going to do all of those. And then I have an iframe available to me here. And if I imagine this case, I'm delivering my work instructions from another system, maybe an internal website. I'm just going to show what this looks like. So here's my iframe inside my Canvas robot work instructions website here. And I can control, I can change the size of this as well. And here again, I have the same experience, just now embedded in my web page. And what we've done at the end, using the ability to embed things like links and actions, as well as 3D content, is given a pathway for the end user to actually go ahead. And I'll drag this over to the screen I'm sharing. I've launched an email to my manufacturing point of contact as someone who's consuming this document. And the subject reads Canvas robot motor soldering feedback. So we've created kind of another collaboration loop through the consumption of this, this document in a digital format using emails. And of course, you could also have a tech, logged in and retrieving these work instructions right from the library center. But if you organize work differently and you have a way to manage these instructions within another system, you have that ability to embed it anywhere that you can grab that iframe and embed it. So from here, I'm going to just, if you have any questions from what we've presented so far, I just encourage you to enter those in the chat so we can address them while we're all live. Otherwise, my email address was on this slide here, elinahan@canvasgfx.com. And then we also have some links. If you like what you saw and you wanted to try a free Envision pilot and see what it's like to collaborate in real time on these type of documents and pull in 3D and 2D and photograph and vector content all within an interactive work instruction, we have that free Envision pilot available on our website, canvasgfx.com/Envision trial. And we also have our sales team can guide that process as well, sales@canvasgfx.com. So from there, I'm just going to see if any questions. I know there was one question on formats that came in. So as far as formats in Canvas Envision, we do handle over 30 CAD formats. So all the major ones like SolidWorks, NX, Creo, STEP, JT. So that really enables people to pull in data that comes maybe from a supplier who's using a different CAD software, or in a large organization where there's several different CAD authoring tools being used. Awesome. Jack, what do you think? Did anything I missed on the collaboration topic?
I don't know. I think you did a fantastic job, and I the collaboration piece is really quite unique because it is one of those things you can see. Ellie was able to collaborate with me both in her Envision application and directly through the web browser. So it's for me, I was actually in a web browser sending the documentation or my text back to her. It's a great tool for being able to add attachments, to be able to, like she asked for an image. I ended up sending the image through the documentation that she was then able to place in the document, or, vice versa. So just from a collaboration standpoint, I think that, you show the higher points, the greater features of the Envision platform.
I was thinking something came to mind on the customer success team. You actually collaborate with some of the Envision customers using the email, the ability to invite someone by email in those documents. That's something I had heard, which is cool.
Yeah, it is.
They can even send you questions on a document, send it to Jax. They take a look and you can respond even outside the organization. I thought that was kind of a neat thing because it avoids the hand waving motions that happen when people can't see the same document.
You're absolutely right. Yeah.
Cool. Well, with that, I'll just pop up that our contact info one more time. And I believe this will also be available. This will be available as a recording as well, if there's anything you want to see again. So, yep, this is me and Elanahan at canvasgfx.com. And here's some links if you're interested in the free pilot or reaching out to our sales team to guide that pilot. And with that, I think we'll leave it at that and thank everyone for joining us today. Have a wonderful rest of the day and almost Friday. Thank you.
Take care, everyone. Bye-bye now.